Thank you, Cindy. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tony. Welcome to Unity of Fort Wayne. If you haven't done so already, please silence your phones and other devices. Thank you for that. We begin our connection hour by lighting the Christ candle, pausing to center ourselves in the presence of God. The power of the month for March is wisdom, the light of judgment, discernment, intuition. Our affirmation statement is, I say yes to right thinking, right action, and right direction. Please repeat with me. I say
yes to right thinking, right action, and right direction. Amen.
If you are comfortable doing so, please stand and sing the opening song with Cindy. Thank you, Cindy, and everyone. Okay, so please remain standing as we call our Jedi apprentice Carissa forward and her Padawan students for a blessing prior to their dismissal to class. We've got one.
There she is.
We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you.
And we behold the Christ in you. We love you just the way you are.
Please be seated. The Daily Word is a little booklet of daily devotional messages forced on spiritual themes such as peace, healing, and guidance, love, or abundance. Lois is our Daily Word reader. The Daily Word message today is reproduced with permission of Unity, publisher of Daily Word, and the website dailyword.com.
The word for today is Palm Sunday. On Palm Sunday, I honor the divine presence within. On Palm Sunday, Jesus made his triumphant entry into Jerusalem riding a donkey colt, spiritually symbolizing dominion of the Spirit over human nature. Today, I find inspiration in that timeless Bible story. Going forward, I commit myself to mastering my impulses and judgments and continually surrendering my imperfections to the Christ within. My commitment in regularly going to the upper chamber of my consciousness smooths the rough edges of my mind and opens my heart to perfect love and purity. By following Jesus' example, I proceed with courage and confidence along the path of fulfillment and transcendence. I have come as light into the world so that everyone who believes in me should not remain in the darkness. John 12, verse 46.
Thank you, Lois. Prayer is an inner alignment into the conscious union with God. It is through prayer and faith opens the door of the mind to the inflow of divine life. God, we are grateful for your love, truth, and good that are constants that we can rely upon. So, everybody, ease back, breathe deeply, feel your breaths and your heartbeat dancing in your chest, revitalizing your blood that is flowing energy throughout your body. As you feel your blood flow to your brain, feel the pressure on the center of your forehead, at your third eye. Your mind is a fire. That Christ's Spirit flows freely to the fourth dimension, making conscious contact with the divine Creator. God supplies us with all the wisdom, imagination to sow the seeds that we co-create our reality with. God, we're so grateful to harvest your abundant blessings, and so it is. The names on the screen have been submitted to our prayer list. Let's pause briefly as we hold space for them. We may have others who we hold in our hearts this morning. Let's whisper their names quietly. We affirm that divine love is doing its perfect work in us right now. I am calm and peaceful, abundant and prosperous, and rest in the assurance of God's healing presence. Today is Palm Sunday, which begins what is known as the Holy Week. As we continue our Lenten journey of release and reimagine, the reading today is titled Enter with Awareness. Please welcome Pastoral Team Chaplain Kelly Deck.
Good morning. Entering with awareness. Lent culminates not in retreat, but in courageous entry. After the wilderness, there is a return to community, to calling, to purpose. Palm branches symbolize victory, yet unity reminds us that true triumph is inner mastery. We release the final residue of fear. We renew our commitment to live from the Christ mind. We enter our lives consciously, humbly, boldly. The wilderness has taught us who we are. We are not driven by appetite or applause. We are guided by spirit. And so we walk forward, not as victims of circumstance, but as awakened expressions of divine love.
Thank you, Kelly. Following a time of meditative music with open hearts and receptive minds, we welcome the message that is about to unfold. We affirm that what we hear today will uplift, encourage, and remind us of the truth of who we are. Listen now to our meditative music in preparation for Reverend Wanda's message.
It's all about allowing peace within. In absolute surrender, so serenity begins. For when the storm subsided and calm becomes the way, it's all about allowing it to stay. It's all about allowing love to flow. It's setting down your burden and just simply letting go. For as you seize the struggle and love pours through your heart, it's all about allowing it to start. Now feel it warm and shining, new with promise, strong, undying love, different than any you have known. And now the seed is sown. It's all about allowing change to show, then living in the moment like it's all you'll ever know. And though it won't be easy, you can truly say you tried, for it's all about allowing it inside. And now the seed is sown. It's all about allowing love to flow. It's setting down your burden and just simply letting go. For as you seize the struggle and love pours through your heart, it was all about allowing. All about allowing it to start.
Good morning. Good morning. So I have to pause, to kind of don't want to take Tony's paper. I have a habit of doing that. I'm Reverend Wanda, and serve as spiritual leader of this beautiful place. And before we get the message started, I do have a couple of little announcements. First of all, I'd like to thank all those who spent the week mulching and weeding and picking up sticks in preparation for the Easter egg hunt. I sincerely appreciate you. I love you, and I love it how much you care for unity. Thank you so much. And, and I have to tell you, we had a whole team. I mean, a whole team working on those Easter eggs. And they're telling me we have enough. We have enough. We have enough. So I'm thinking we're kind of prepared for the big day. And then, you know, next Sunday's Easter. You guys know I like holidays, okay? So we always have to do something. Susan's not having her class, so I thought we'd have breakfast. So come about 9:30, 9:45. It's not going to be fancy. I'm telling you, we're not having biscuits and gravy, okay? My husband thinks breakfast is biscuits and gravy. So it's just going to be a light breakfast, you know, maybe muffins and yogurt and fruit and stuff like that. But we'll have coffee for a time of celebration, rejoicing in Easter Sunday, okay? I would like to do that. And then, you know, after service, we have cake and coffee for the birthdays. And I have no one who has signed up to help assist in the kitchen that day. So if you feel called to help next week, we would really appreciate it. All right? So we're going to get started. And I apologize right off. I didn't buy enough palms. I underestimated our crowd. But if you have a palm, raise your palm. And if you don't, raise your hands like you don't care, okay? And I want to thank Susie. I noticed she played a little bit of Jesus Christ Superstar this morning. And every time I have a palm, I always think of, you know, Hosanna, Hosanna, Zanna, Zanna, Hosanna, from Jesus Christ Superstar. So we've got our palms. It is Palm Sunday. All right. So we're on this sacred Palm Sunday, we stand at the threshold of Holy Week. And it's a time of not only historical reference, but a realization of a living spiritual journey. And we recall the triumphant entry, the waving of palms and the cries of Hosanna, yet in the midst of all this celebration, we are invited into something deeper, something much more quieter, and something transformative. We are invited to the upper room, to the intimate, transformative moment that calls us beyond praise into living practice. We pause for a moment of prayer as we welcome the abiding Spirit. Divine love, living and present within us. We turn our hearts inward and upward, recognizing your presence as the very life of all of creation. We remember the triumphant entry of Jesus Christ, not only as a moment in history, but as a living symbol of the Christ entering our own consciousness, bringing peace, humility, and divine purpose. Today, we lay down the palms of our own understanding. We surrender pride, fear, and limitation, and we welcome the fullness of your love. We affirm that the same Spirit that moved through Jesus moves through us now. We are open, we are receptive, and we are willing to live the truth we know. May this time together awaken a deeper commitment to love, to serve, and to embody the Christ presence in all that we do. We bless this message, this gathering, and every heart present. And so in gratitude and faith, we let it be. Amen. So our focus today is on John 13, chapter 13, verses 1 through 7. I want to remind you that metaphysically, the Gospel of John is the most mystic, okay? So it's a great place to practice metaphysics. Okay, this is where Jesus kneels before his disciples and washes their feet. In these passages, we will witness something totally unexpected. The teacher kneels. The master serves. And this is not just an act of humility, it is a revelation of divine love in action. And at the center of this moment, at the center of this story, we find Peter. You know, you gotta love that guy. You just never know what's gonna happen with Peter. So I'd like to read this passage, and it's from the New Revised Standard Version. Okay, now, before the festival of the Passover, Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart from this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. The devil had already decided that Judas would betray Jesus. And during the supper, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he had come from God and was going to God, got up from supper, took off his outer robe, and tied a towel around himself. Now, for you metaphysicians, you can go to it on that one sentence right there, because there is so much packed in that. Then he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel that he had tied around himself. And when he came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" And Jesus answered, "You do not know now what I am doing, but later you will understand." And Peter said to him, "You will never wash my feet." And Jesus answered, "Unless I wash you, you have no share with me." And then Simon Peter said to him, "Lord, not only my feet, but my hands and head." And Jesus said to him, "One who bathes does not need to wash except for the feet, but is entirely clean. And you are clean, though not all of you." For he knew who would betray him. For this reason he said, "Not all of you are clean." After he washed their feet, he put back on his robe, and he reclined again and said to them, "Do you know what I have done to you? You call me teacher and Lord, and you're right, for that is what I am. For if I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. For I have set for you an example, that you should do as I have done to you. Verily, truly, I tell you, slaves are not greater than the master, nor are messengers greater than those who sent them. And if you know these things, you are blessed if you do them." So let's take a closer look at what is going on. And you know, I like to read the Bible kind of as drama, so I'm going to ask you to engage your power of imagination, okay? Imagine every detail of this scene. You're in the upper room. It's nearing Passover. The table is set. Imagine the smell of the food. Imagine the lighting. Imagine the disciples assembled together. Now imagine Jesus stands up and he removes his outer robe. He ties a towel around his neck, his waist, and pours water into a basin. And then slowly he moves to disciple to disciple, kneeling before each one and washing their feet, an act that only servants do. Then he comes to Peter. He kneels before Peter. And Peter responds with resistance. Lord, are you going to wash my feet? And then more strongly he says, you shall never wash my feet. And I want you to notice Peter's human reaction. And ask yourself, did he respond in such a way? Was it pride? Was it confusion? Or was it discomfort with such an act of humility? But when Jesus answers, unless I wash you, you have no share with me. And then something shifts. Something shifts inside of Peter. And Peter moves from a refusal to openness. That moment of realization when we move from refusal to openness. And Peter represents something very, very familiar with all of us when we make that shift. There is a part of us that will resist divine love when it comes in unexpected ways. We may accept God as powerful, but struggle to accept that Spirit is humble. We may believe in love, but resist being vulnerable enough to receive it. Peter's refusal is not failure. It is the part of all of our awakenings. In unity, understanding how unity sees this moment, this very moment, metaphysically represents the movement from ego to surrender, resistance to receptivity, head knowledge to heart realization, and movement from effort into grace. How often do we say Peter's no, symbolizing our human tendency to reject help or to cling to control, saying, I can handle this myself or I don't need help. And I'm not ready to be seen like that. Yet divine love does not force, it invites us, and Jesus does not argue harshly. He simply reveals the truth that unless I wash you, in unity terms, unless we allow divine love to transform us, we cannot fully experience our oneness with it. This is the power of consent, the power of will, and the movement of faith and our ability to express willingness. Peter's shift is powerful. He moves from never to all of me, all of me. And this is the moment of spiritual awakening. And even though Peter didn't fully understand, he becomes willing. And that is part of the reason that Peter represents the power of faith. And willingness is the doorway to transformation. Unity teaches that healing and growth begin not with perfection, but with openness. And then there's more. There's more. Unity's fifth principle reminds all of us that it is not enough to know truth. We must live it. Jesus knew Peter, and Peter knew Jesus. Peter believed in Jesus, but in this moment, he is invited to allow Jesus. And that's the difference. Knowing is intellectual, living is experience. And Peter moves from understanding to participation, from observation to embodiment. And so must we. There is a profound spiritual truth. We cannot fully serve others unless we are willing to receive. Peter had to allow his feet to be washed before he could be sent to serve. And why was that? Why was this act so important? Because true service is not rooted in superiority. It is rooted in our shared humanity and divine equality. When we refuse to receive, we block our connections. We reinforce separation, and we limit love. But when we allow ourselves to be loved, to be helped, and to be uplifted, we then become vessels of that same love. And after washing their feet, Jesus said, I have set you an example. And this just is not about humility. It was active demonstration. And it's a reminder that the Christ within us is not passive. It expresses as compassion in action, love in motion, and service as a way of being. Today, our question is not whether we will wash feet literally, but whether we will move from resistance to willingness. Where in your life are you saying no to love? Where are you resisting forgiveness? Where are you resisting being vulnerable? Resisting helping someone whom you find difficult? Or allowing yourself to be supported? And where is Spirit gently inviting you to say yes, even if I don't understand? Palm Sunday celebrates recognition, but this passage reveals transformation. The palms we receive this morning represents inner surrender, and one is easy, and the other changes everything. So let's just pause for a moment of meditation. And I invite you to take a slow, deep breath with intention. Feel that breath inside your body. Relax your neck and shoulder. Place your feet flat on the floor. Stay grounded. Stay grounded. And as you breathe in peace. And release, as you breathe out, any resistance. Now imagine yourself in that sacred room. And you see Christ coming towards you, kneeling before you. And what is your reaction? Do you sense hesitation? Discomfort? resistance. And if you do, acknowledge these feelings. Acknowledge these feelings without judgment. Now hear these words. Unless I wash you. And feel this invitation. Not as demand, but as love. Now gently say to yourself, I am willing. Feel your heart soften and feel yourself allowing. And as Christ kneels before you and washes your feet, feel old beliefs dissolving, unworthiness lifting, and love flowing freely. Now, like Peter, expand your willingness and say, not just part of me, but all of me. And rest in this openness. Feel yourself rising and offering this same love to another. You offer this love freely, gently, and without condition. Silently affirm, I receive divine love. I give divine love. I live in divine love. And continue to breathe in peace and breathe out resistance. Softly, gently, when you are ready, bring your awareness back into this space and this time. In the spirit of Christ's acts of love and humility, we now enter into a time of shared blessing through a hand-washing ceremony. In the gospel, we are reminded that to serve one another is to express the Christ within. Today, rather than washing feet, we symbolically wash one another's hands, whose instruments through which we give, which we receive, create, and serve. I am so thankful for my hands. I'm so thankful. This is not just a mere ritual, but a living prayer, an opportunity to release judgment, to extend compassion, and to recognize the divine presence in one another. If you feel led to do so, you are invited to come forward as a way to receive and to serve. As you gently wash one another's hands, may you silently affirm, the Christ in me honors the Christ in you. Allow this to be your moment of grace, of humility, of connection, and love in action. When you are ready, you are invited to come forward. Andrea has a little music for us. And as you feel so called, come forward. May you notice where resistance arises and be willing to meet it head on. May you allow yourself to be loved, and in doing so, become living love in action. And may your life reflect this sacred balance to humbly receive and to joyfully serve. And may the Christ within you guide every step, every gesture, and every moment of love. And in the spirit of divine service and unity, amen.
Thank you, Reverend Wanda. That was wonderful. We are grateful for the spirit of generosity that moves through this community. As we give freely, we receive freely. The circle of divine giving continues without end. Please leave your contributions, your gifts and tithes in the basket in the back of the sanctuary, or you may contribute through our website, unityfortwayne.org. Join me in affirming our prosperity statement. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful. From our divine nature, we joyfully praise to give thanks for the many blessings flowing through our lives. In the spirit of gratitude, I invite you to share what you are thankful for by placing it in the gratitude basket in the back of the lobby. Today, we celebrate these expressions of thankfulness together. And I need to grab. I am grateful for the force that is always with me. I am grateful for you. I am grateful for all of God's children. Amen. Okay, so now to the announcements. Our Unity Community Easter egg hunt is next Sunday from 2 to 4. Everyone is next Saturday, thank you. From 2 to 4, everyone is welcome. Bring your children, grandchildren, or the neighbor's kid and join us for fun, fellowship, and special appearance by the Easter Bunny. Also, next Saturday, Michael Patterson and Stephen McAfee will meet for the study group reflections here in the sanctuary at 10 to 11:30 a.m. There will be no SALT class next Sunday. Spiritual Explorers class will begin a new book on Tuesday, April 7th, The Tao of Willie. The Tao of Willie, as in the red-headed stranger, Willie Nelson. Copies are available in our bookstore. If you have any prayer request, would like to receive an email, or need a name tag, please fill out the connection card in the back pocket of your chairs and place it in the basket in the back. For continuing classes and events, please check out our video board, website, Facebook page, and email blast, and be sure to hit the like button on Facebook. Thank you, Jody, for keeping our social media up to date. We appreciate you. Following the close of today's service, Reverend Wanda and the pastoral care team will be here in the front of the sanctuary for anyone who would like to receive prayer for healing and anointing. Next Sunday is Easter, with communion followed by cake and coffee to celebrate Easter season and those who are celebrating a birthday or anniversary. So, thank you, Reverend Wanda, Cindy, Lois, Kelly Deck, and the AV team, Phil for ushering, and the greeters today, and everyone who helped make this service possible. We appreciate you. Let's stand for the prayer of protection and peace song.